Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. This is Methodically Maya. I am Maya, and this is where we talk about various psychological principles and other learning strategies that is really great for any student or anyone with a curious mind. Specifically today, we're going to be talking about SAD, or seasonal affective disorder. So this does affect a lot of people, specifically if you live in Canada, the United States, or Northern Europe. This is going to be very, very useful for you. We're going to be talking about what SAD is, what causes it, and how to treat it. And specifically, how to treat SAD at home. So it's going to be a very interesting and fast-paced video. Make sure you like and comment on the video. It really helps spread this video to others. And so yes, my goal is for this video to reach as many people as possible so that as many people as possible can benefit from this information and from the research that I have done on how to be a little bit happier over the winter. So thank you so much for liking, commenting, and sharing this video. It'll definitely help more people that way. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You have done amazing in spreading awareness. Okay, and now without further ado, I think we can get started into talking about seasonal affective disorder. I do want to make an important disclaimer before we begin today. I am not a therapist of any kind. I am a psychology undergrad student. And yes, I did the research on how to treat SAD or SAD or seasonal affective disorder at home. However, this should not be taken in place of real professional advice. I highly recommend that you go to therapy if you think you have SAD. It can be very effective in treating it. I really want to get into what SAD is. So what is seasonal affective disorder? Seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression, and this is why it's so important that if you do think that you have SAD, you go to therapy. Now, it is a type of depression that seems to come about with a change of seasons, and for most people, this is through the transition of fall to winter, but for some people, it can actually be the opposite, where SAD can come about from spring to summer. So, SAD is characterized as feelings of depression, loss of interest, low energy, sleep problems, changes in appetite, feelings of agitation, difficulty concentrating, feelings of hopelessness, or even thoughts of death or suicide. So it is very, very, very important that you get the help you need if you do have SAD. It is not just a little blip on the scale. It is not just a little dose of sadness here and there. It is not just the winter blues. It is a real disorder, and one that is serious and does need remediation if you are feeling that every time winter rolls around, or even summertime, that you are feeling very, very sad. And what you are feeling is best characterized as SAD. I do want to do a quick little intro into what scientists believe causes SAD, because it's not the exact same as general depression or major depressive disorder. It is slightly different, but it all comes down to the changes in sunlight that we see with the changes of the seasons. And how we know this is that SAD is more prominent in the countries that are far from the equator. So things that are either really, really north or really, really south. We tend to see SAD being a lot more common within these population of individuals. And this is because this is where the light changes the most depending on the season that we're in. And these changes in sunlight can really be broken down into three major changes. Number one, our circadian rhythm changes rather dramatically. The changes in sunlight that we see from fall to winter really go to disrupt the body's internal clock, which leads to feelings of depression. Number two, we see that sunlight does go on to affect serotonin levels. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, I do talk about serotonin a lot, as it is one of the body's happy hormones. And reduced sunlight leads to a drop in serotonin levels. And thus, this disruption, this decrease in serotonin can trigger depression and does in a lot of people. Number 3, we see that melatonin levels in individuals change with the change in sunlight. And now melatonin is really interesting because it plays a role in our sleep patterns, but it also plays a role in our mood. And so here we see the connection gets a lot stronger and easier to see. Changes in melatonin release in our brain go on to affect our circadian rhythm, which we already know sees changes in our mood. And so yes, all 3 of these disruptions, whether that be our circadian rhythm, our serotonin levels, or our melatonin levels, they all go on to affect our mood and to overall make us feel a lot less happy. And so now what everybody's been waiting for, I want to go over some ways to treat SAD at home. And yes, as I mentioned before, please think about going to see a therapist for treating this if you do believe that you have SAD. But there are some things that you can do at home and for a relatively small budget as well, which is also very, very interesting. Overall, I have 5 things that you can do at home, plus a bonus. We're going to begin first with light box therapy. And now I find this super, super interesting because if you take abnormal psych, psychopathology, clinical psych, something that talks about how to treat SAD, they will mention that in traditional therapy methods, they will bring the patient to light box therapy, which is essentially kind of what I'm doing right now in my YouTube studio. I'm sitting in front of very, very bright lights. And so essentially what you have a patient do is sit in front of a light box, a certified light box for 30 minutes. And they do recommend that you do this right at the beginning of the day. And it can really help to trigger the circadian rhythm, as well as to suppress the natural release of melatonin that may be leading to our feelings of depression. And what's really cool is Amazon has these light boxes and they're not too expensive. So I'm going to be putting some affiliate links below. That does just mean that when you click on it, it'll bring you directly to Amazon. You can buy the product right from there. So definitely go ahead and check out that light box. Number 2, we actually have dawn simulators. And now I didn't know that these existed until I started doing my research and I am blown away. Essentially, instead of waking up in the morning to an aggressive iPhone alarm, Sorry if that upset anybody, because I know while I'm editing it, I will not enjoy that sound. Instead, you wake up to the increasing of light in your room, similar to how you would on a normal morning if you were to just wait for the sun to rise to wake you up. You can actually buy an alarm clock that instead of sound, wakes you up with light. So it's very relaxing and almost therapeutic in and of itself. And I really, really, really like this idea. It's also been seen to really help with SAD. Again, there are dawn simulators on Amazon. Link below. It's really, really interesting that you can buy them for a pretty decent price on Amazon and wake up a little nicer in the morning. So again, definitely check that out. Number 3, we have aromatherapy. Now, there is less research on this, but it has been seen to be effective in a number of studies. Specifically here, we're looking for poplar tree essential oil. And now I found this a lot harder to find. It is not on Amazon. It is on some different websites that specifically sell essential oils. Poplar tree has been found to help depressive disorders as well as regulate the body's circadian rhythm. And so this is really, really key to treating something like SAD. So it's definitely an avenue that you could check out as well. Number 4, we have vitamin D. And now this is really important because in the sunnier months, you're probably getting a lot more vitamin D than you are in the cold, dark winter months, at least here in Canada. A 2014 study found that taking vitamin D supplements was really key to decreasing depressive symptoms in participants within the study. Again, you can get vitamin D on Amazon. I do have a link below, but you can also go to any grocery store, pharmacy, anything like that, and find vitamin D supplements that best suit you. And number 5, we have exercise. Exercise is so important for your mental health. Specifically with SAD, what you want to do is you want to exercise beside a window, preferably around noon, where the sun is at its highest. And exercise on its own has been seen to alleviate depression symptoms of major depressive disorder and has been linked to increasing positive feelings when a participant has SAD or seasonal affective disorder. And this is especially true when you are beside a window. So right around noon, around your lunchtime, try to get outside for a nice walk. Even if it is chilly, it'll definitely benefit your mental health. And so those were the 5 tips that I recommend for treating SAD at home. However, I do have a bonus, though it may or may not be done at home, and that is through cognitive behavioral therapy. CBT has been found to be incredibly useful when treating SAD or any type of mood disorder. Really figuring out why you have the thoughts you do and being able to counteract the negative ones and replace them or reframe them with more positive outlooks have been seen to be incredibly effective in treating mood disorders and specifically in treating SAD. So I definitely recommend that if you can, try and go to therapy. And if you do want to make an investment in yourself, an investment in your future, an investment in your mental health, I really do recommend that you seek out a therapist. Your future self will thank you. All right, so that wraps up my video on SAD or seasonal affective disorder. I hope that you learned something today and that you can maybe even apply some of that knowledge to give yourself a better experience over the winter months. I know this year has been really, really tough on a lot of people. And so even if this helps one individual, I think that is super, super powerful. And it's why I've created this channel. I really want to help people the most I can by sharing the knowledge that I am learning in university and through additional research. So feel free to share this video with your friends, with your family, on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, whatever it is. It can help a lot of people. And I'm hoping that the wider reach that we get with this video, the more people that can be benefited from it. So as the seasons change, the snow falls, and it gets a little bit chillier out here, make sure that you're still getting your sunlight as best as you can. I wish you a happy holidays and a happy new year as well as we go into 2021. And hopefully with the use of dawn simulators and lightbox therapy, this winter won't be so bad. Stay safe and stay happy, and I will see you again on Monday.